if you're new to Crowfall, or maybe you're returning to Crowfall after maybe a previous big patch, 5.8 has changed a lot of the game. And so I thought I'd spend a couple of minutes and just talk about what you can do to use your time wisely. So for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the game, what can you do to position yourself that you can jump right into the combat, right into the campaign? Because to be honest, that's what we're here for. That's what we're testing for. That's where the fun, that's where these game loops are finally in place for us to test. And no one likes to jump into a new world or a new experience and feel like they're kind of floundering around. So kind of here's a quick little walkthrough. Take it with a grain of salt. I level and play differently, of course, than you do. But to be honest, your first 10 or 15 minutes of this game is going to be relatively the same until you're out actually in the campaign. So first things first, when you launch in here, kingdoms or campaigns, we're going to keep the kingdoms aside. We're going to go into the campaigns. I already have some characters, but I'm going to create a new character, right? So if you coming in there, you're going to have nothing on this left-hand side. You're going to click a new character. Here's my first cautionary tale. Choosing your race is important, right? But if you look on the right-hand side, see the box and this being highlighted? That's the default class, and this is the default sex and the default model that you're going to get. Spend a couple of extra seconds here. Make this your own. If you want to play assassin, you got to choose assassin. You see assassin over here, but if you choose this, you're going to drop in a druid, and that means what? You're going to back out and recreate one. You're going to waste time. And when this campaign launches, you don't want to waste any time. This is the chance for you to choose your race and class, the sex of your toon, and then this is where you get a chance to customize it. I'm just going to throw in something here real quick. Throw in your name. And you're in. Now, please take a second here. I know you're going to want to hit an inner world and just jump right in there. Take a second, click your skills, right? You need to click on these. You need to choose to start your training here. If you're brand new, you're going to have 0 over here. You're going to have nothing. You need to choose which you're going to start your passive training. Do it now. Every minute in this campaign is going to count. You're going to get, if you get too far in there and you're going to come back and go, oh no, I didn't start my training, you're going to miss out on those training points that are extremely valuable. So start your passive training right now before you get into the campaign. Then you're going to choose which campaign you're going to. Right now we have multiples to choose from. I'm going to come into 5 test. It doesn't make a difference. When the campaign launches, you'll see which one to come in. Enter world. Now, if you've came in and played Crowfall in 5.5, 5.6, hell, Hunger Dome, whatever the buzz phrase is, it is going to be a different experience landing in here for 2 reasons. One, you're landing right into the crypt, right? If you've played Crowfall, you understand that this is the crypt. The second thing you're going to realize is that there's truly a starter area before the beachhead. Before, we'd always just land in the beachhead and go. Well, this is different. They've actually created a small starter area for you to get your sea legs, where no PvP can happen until you actually hit the campaign world. But once you hit the campaign world, you can't come back here unless you create a new character. So let's spend our time here wisely, and then we'll get out to the campaign world. One thing you haven't noticed here, take a look. Remember the dots here, the glowy dots? That lets you know where there are things that you can interact with in the world that from harvesting. This is new. Called wildcrafting. There are vegetables and produce and stuff for you to pick up. I'm only doing it right now just to show you can interact with it, but it's well worth the time to pick some of that stuff up, and we'll talk about it here in a second. Here's also something new. If you've not played Crowfall or haven't played Crowfall in a long time, you need to realize that chests spawn in the world, right? And so this is the starter area. These starter chests, the scavenging chests, they're here for a couple of reasons. One, they're to get you to, to interact with, so you can understand that chests are interactive with you in the world. And sometimes things spawn in them. So if you want to try to find the lore behind it, the gods throw stuff in chests just to make us, more active, fun to play with, yada, yada. But the important thing here is that if you're out in the game and you see out in the campaign and you see a chest to loot, you should take a peek and see what's in it. I'm picking up a couple of harvest tools and some mystery meat. Mystery meat. The other thing real quick is see these fires. See, use campfire. Now, you'll sometimes see fires or animations in the world that you may not interact with. The important thing is to hover over it. If you've got the F key, you can actually interact with this campfire and then do campfire cooking, right? And so I have 4 mystery meat. I can take mystery meat and drop it in here, and now I've got cooked meat. So the difference being here, this cooked meat doesn't do me any good right now, but now that I've cooked it, I can actually eat it, and it actually helps my health bar. See, I'm halfway down on my first chicken ticker. That's a phrase we use. If I eat this meat, I'm fully restored on my energy, blah, 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 my hunger, right? So looking for these campfires, looking for these chests, this again is the free starter area that you can interact with. Now, other thing you noticed, if you hit the I key, you start with 40 gold and 2 bruised apples. Now, so this is the stuff I picked up, right? These bruised apples give you a little bit of food, but interesting, a bruised apple gives you 5 food restores, where 1 piece of cooked mystery meat gives you 12. That just shows how important it is to pick up resources in the world, take a look at what you can do to improve them. You cook up the meat, it's worth so much more, and trust me, you're going to get hungry here in the world. A couple other things real quick before we dive into your next steps. Let's take the UI's changed. If you take a look at the top, that next turn, there's the 3 factions. Here's the score. I chose Chaos. Chaos is 3rd place right now in this campaign. That is what the score is right now. If you hit the map, M key, you can see this is the starter area, right? I'm going to run from here over to the Chaos Temple portal, and then that's going to take me past this, this area that I can't get past. It's going to take me over to the Chaos Temple. Once I get to the Chaos Temple, this is actually the true beachhead. This area right here is all starter area, and I'm going to talk about the starter area right now. So, see, we got a tree here, but the nice thing is I scavenged a hatchet. See, I can hatch on things. You just hold your mouse key down. You're in the survival tray. You're chopping woods. It's pretty intuitive. If you've played any MMOs, think of that when you harvest something and you gather something, it pops up and you got to pick it up like kind of a loot pinata. So, as you can see, there's plenty of things to pick. There's plenty of mushrooms. There's trees to chop down. There's other players, etc. We're going to move forward, though, because, again, this is all about you guys getting the ability to get out into the campaign. So why'd you start with 40 gold? Well, J. Todd and Tyrant has decided that they want the campaign to kind of start off with a little bit of extra effort. Want to start with you guys to have a little less effort. So, here, look at here's another campfire, see? Check your campfires. Hold F to vendor. So here's a guy who actually has some basic weapons for you to purchase. And so, as you can see, 40 gold gets you pretty much, every starter combination, right? Regardless of your race or class option, your 40 gold will get you your starting weapons for your class. I'm going with axes, right? I'm going to go with a pair of axes because I'm an assassin and I can run 2 weapons. So it leaves me 10 gold, Now, you have a choice. You see those towers in the distance? I can run through those and I can run my way all the way to the Chaos Temple and go to the beachhead. The problem is a lot of people do that, and that's fine. But if you take a look to your right or your left, you'll see these big kind of back eddy cul-de-sacs of spiders. And if you jump into 7, which is your combat tray, you can actually come in here real quick and get a feeling. Right? You can sit here and look, I get 25 experience, F for loot. Boom. I can actually get a little bit of feel of these characters. Now, this is just my opinion. You need to level up to get to, in my opinion, you need to get to rank 5 before you're actually heading out into the campaign world. And that's my opinion. I think it's a probably pretty common opinion for people who are playing a lot. So you need to spend some time you know, learning your skills. I, on the other hand, if I'm going to kill things to get experience, nothing is wasted. I don't waste a goddamn thing. So I need to kill a bunch of spiders to rank up. You see down below that little purple line that says XP? I killed one spider. I got that amount of experience. But by harvesting a little bit of wood and creating a really crappy knife, I can actually get food, dust, and leather that I'm going to need. And here's the reason why, people. When you hit the real world, when you hit the campaign world, you better at least have yourself a saddle pack pig. That is the mount that gives you a speed running buff. Okay, oops. See, this is why you don't. I'm going to retaliate. I'm going to beat the crap out of this thing. And the other reason why I like to do it here, now this is just me and you guys talking, is if I go here and harvest, so many newbies are here that they don't realize that they should make a knife and skin. So see those two spiders over there? I'm going to go steal that guy's harvest. Because I'm going to need about 100 leather, 100 hide to make myself my mount. Not to mention, I need to, you know, level myself up so that I'm not a complete noob when I hit the main campaign. So let's at least get to level 2. I mean, I recommend you staying here till level 5. But I'm going to get up to level 2, and then we're going to jump into the beachhead so you can see where the map is. So you guys just don't get have to sit here and watch me, kill spiders over and over again. You guys know how to kill spiders by now. So let me finish this one because waste not, want not. Okay, so, and if there's somebody in this area killing, not a problem. There's no more spiders ahead, right? So keep yourself ahead. Keep an eye open on something. Now, here's hunger crystals. You can kill hunger crystals, and hunger crystals will give you things to sacrifice. That XP right now, I can level up. Oops, see, look, bandages. Why? Why do we check chests? Because they're full of stuff. If nothing else, you can always sacrifice things that you don't need. But here's a spider, so let's go kill him. I'm going to get really close, and then I'm going to show you how to use the sacrificial fire to get the rest of 2. Here's the other reason I like spiders. They drop bottom rune fragments. They drop 3 pieces of rune fragments. If you can get the top, bottom, and the middle, you go here to basic ritual, you create this thing, boom, turns into 500 XP. You, as a player, your sprint right now at live is to get out into the compound world, the actual campaign world, and make a difference. If you're just sitting here killing spiders, you're not making much of a difference, right? So here we are. See where we got 1 level, but we're almost full in purple. So let's just jump ahead because I want to show you how to use the sacrificial fire. Because once you get past level 5, in many cases, it's more efficient for you to craft things or kill things and sacrifice the stuff that you find in the world. Because again, you can go all the way to level 30. But all we're doing right now is just to show you how to use these basic areas. So here's my sprint. I'm running up here. You can see there in the distance, up the top of that hill, there's a little beam of light. It's kind of hard to tell in this fog, but you can see that little beam. That means there's a portal there, and that's the portal to the actual main beachhead. If you skip the first vendor and didn't spend your 40 gold, you can spend it here. This right here, people, is your friend. You're going to sacrifice an awful lot of things before you get to level 30. So let's take a look. Here's something. Looky here. You know those boxes I picked up? I can sacrifice one of those hatchets. Right? I just picked up one of those hatchets out of the chests, and I can drop it in here. What else? You know that frond? You know when I picked up those mushrooms? There's a point, you know. Here's some spider web stuff. You know, they drop stuff. Oh, that's worth way too much. I'm going to keep it. So here's the thing. You see this bar right here, the 228? See, this is worth 15. I only get up to 228, so it's important not to be too wasteful, in my opinion. because you still got a lot of way to go. So if I wanted to sacrifice the rest of the stuff that I've got, and I will do so right now. Look at that. Just that, you know, if I wanted to sacrifice this, it's only worth 5. But if I get 3 pieces, it's worth 500. So I'm not going to sacrifice it. But you see how that happened? When I went to level 2, now I'm shooting to level 3, a couple things happened. I got some attributes to spend. I'm an assassin. I'm going to spend some dex. Why? Because it helps my critical hit chance, my armor bones, my attack power. But here's the talents. You notice when I was attacking the spider, all I had was my left button. I was just left click, left click, left click. That's all I had to attack with. But now I have 2 talent points to spend. I'm going to spend 1. I don't have any choice. And now I have a choice to spend it on Brutal Fury, which improves my crit chance, or I get physical armor bonus. I'm an assassin, and we want crit. Now, before you move on, please, before you move on, let's hit the K button here. Right? We hit the I button, that's your inventory. That's where you spend your talent points and your attributes points. You hit your K, that is how you build your bar. This is your passive and active powers. Because I trained in talents here, back here at the kidney shot, it actually appears in my powers list. I need to make sure. Now, in many cases, they automatically fill, but they don't always do. So you will eventually be building powers here that don't automatically drop to your power bar. The other here, your passives. You need to slot your passives. Now, passives, you get one to start with called spotting. That means that if you're harvesting something, you're less likely to get ganked. Always throw that on your survival tray until you get something better to put, okay? Real quick, if you take a look at the bar now, if I go into combat, you'll see I have a 1 key now, which is my kick. As I fill up points, you see on the right-hand side there, that really scary skull purple thing? Watch this, I'll hit the 1 key. Boom, I spent all my pips. If I was fighting somebody and I spent that creature or player would be stunned for a period of time based on my skill level, how many pips I spent, etc. And you can see that there's a cooldown till I can use it again. So here's my dodge, left mounts, my standard strike. You know, E is retaliate, so when I get knocked down by a player or knocked down by a creature, that allows me to get back from being prone and actually do damage. Now the other thing, if I'm in the H tray here, I'm not going to do it. If you see the 8 key here, this key right here, this is the recall. This will take you to the beachhead, right? So when you're out in the campaign world or something, you may use it. For right now, we're heading into the campaign. Well, at least the campaign beachhead. So now I've left the starter area. But you know what I mean? There are creatures to kill there that are rank 1. There are basic resources, knotwood, cobblestone, slag, things that you can use to gather and to sacrifice and get to level up. Now, let's hit map. I am now not the starter area. I'm in the Chaos Temple area. This is the faction. For me, this is Chaos's beachhead. You see this area out over here? This is interchanged with rank 1 premium resources. That means this is stuff that you can actually use to create real weapons, real armor, real tools, besides knotwood and the basic stuff that was back here. No premium resources, rank 1 premium resources. So now you have to make a choice. I'm only rank 2, I'm sorry, well, I'm level 2. So I mean, I could go right out to the campaign and go get myself killed if I wanted. But real quick, let's tell you what you can see. See those beams of light? That tells you those are portals. It was harder to see in the campaign, that starter area, because of the fog. Out in the real world in the campaign, if you look out on the horizon and you see those, you know that they're portals. But they don't necessarily tell you where they go just because it's a beam of light. So make sure you spend the time and look at your map before you jump into a portal. Make sure you don't go to an area that you don't want to go to. A couple of quick things. In the faction beachhead, this means only Chaos people can come into this area. If you come out here to the right, there's a couple things that are really important. Intermediate tables. This is where you can craft some generic things. Like I can build my intermediate harvest tools to go get those rank 1 resources we were talking about. More cooking basic stuff. I can work on my cooking basics, or if I need to create some carbon or fuel or leather working, I can make intermediate leather. You see, I can make boots and chests and stuff like that. So it all means that you have to spend the time and effort to gather and then convert it. But this intermediate tool sets will allow you to create intermediate armor. Now, that intermediate armor is better than naked. The intermediate weapons are, they're better than the free stuff that you get, but it's not as good as the premium stuff that you're going to eventually be in. These are all the vendors. We only have a little bit of gold left, but if you have gold because you ranked up to 5, first of all, do not spend the money and buy these things. You can craft those. You look over here, here's my friend Sarather. He actually spent a vendor, Sarather's Lawns. He doesn't have anything up yet, but this is actually an NPC vendor. Here's mine over here. So the cool thing about Crowfall now is that if you spend the time and effort to make a vendor, oh look, somebody bought stuff. Look at that. I'm just going to go here and collect that gold. That gold is mine. You can actually build stuff, craft stuff, find stuff, and actually sell it to other players in game. So here's a food vendor. If you want to do some cooking, here's where you buy stuff, yada yada. Okay, so you have some crafting benches over here, and you have both player and NPC vendors. What else you got? Well, let's go off to the left-hand side. That was to the right-hand side. If somehow you sprinted all the way here, ignored all those other vendors to buy weapons, and there are plenty of people that run here naked, there's another vendor here for you to spend your 40 gold on. Down here, we'll go to those portals last. Plenty of rank 1 resources. So rank 1 pack pigs. Let's go kill one real quick. I can show you my new kidney shot, right? So I'm going to build up pips. Well, come here, pig. So I got his attention. See the pips building on the right-hand side? I've got 5 pips. Boom! Kick him and he's stunned. Now I'm going to kill him before he even actually, before he can actually do any damage to me. But as you can see, I'm still leveling up, right? I'm going to get out of H here. I'm going to loot this poor thing. I would normally skin it, but I'm not going to spend the time to do that right now. So I'm going to run out here real quick. I want to show you out in the main Chaos Beachhead or Order Beachhead, or doesn't matter, Balance Beachhead. In this area outside your original temple, there are rank 1 resources. So we saw the rank 1 the pigs, right? So if you run this direction and just run out into the wilderness here, you will look for, what are we supposed to look for? Sparkles. There's some sparkles. So that will allow you to find rank 1 resources. So this is iron nodes. So you can actually sit here, create yourself a pickaxe, get some iron. If you have a team of people, so maybe you're not playing by yourself, maybe you're coming in with a group of people, get together and go after this rank 1 iron motherlode. Same basic materials, except it just has a little bit more volume in it to help pay off all the people you need to harvest with. So in this area that I just showed you back there, there's rank 1 trees that are non-knotwood. There's stone that's not cobblestone, that you saw the iron, and there's also other resources like those mushrooms. There's mandrake and ginseng and onions and garlic and stuff that are really useful for you to pick up as you sprint your way to rank 5. Now, again, I kind of hung up on rank 5, and that's just my opinion. But I just feel like if you're ready in rank 5, that means you've spent the time and effort in here in your talents to get yourself kind of over into this area so you can get your first major discipline spot and you get your first minor. So you got to spend all these talent points that you earn by ranking up to 5, ranking this vessel down here up to 5, and then you'll be able to create some flavor and choices on your character. So let's run out to the main campaign world here. Oh, it's Rodent. She's pretty cool. She streams. So we're heading off to this main area. So again, I'm in the Chaos Temple for the faction beachhead. I'm going to run over here and show you the difference. So I'm in the Safe, no PvP in this area, right? Nothing. I am safe as safe can be. I step in to Scania Dale, Masklow, or Bardshoffen. That is actually the campaign. So here's the difference. Was safe. As soon as I resolve into the actual campaign, PvP is active. Anyone not in my faction, anyone not Chaos can kill me right now. So let's look at the map. As you can see, it tells you on the map, if I need to come back here and go back to the Chaos Temple, I can just run here and go back to the Chaos Temple. But as you can see, this map tells me what's going on. It sure looks like Balance has decided that Scania Dale is theirs, right? If I go to the larger campaign map, see the difference here? I was the faction temple. Here's the Order faction, Balance faction. I'm here at Scania Dale, right? This also lets me know, hey, there's a siege window open. I can go with a group of friends and I can go attack a keep or attack something. I can go here, even though I'm not on this island, I can say, oh, well, hey, I need to go back to the Chaos and come back to this area because it looks like Chaos has a lot more control of this island and it would be safer for me to be on. Last bit of thing, and then we're going to call it good. If you spend the time and effort, oh, sorry, I have to show you what another gather. I am just all in love with this new wild crafting. I just love things that you interact with in the world. So here's a high-ranking tree. Well, high-ranking, it's rank 3. But, boom, ginseng and dust. And trust me, you're going to need a lot more dust. Rank 2 spruce. So this is the equivalent of a premium wood instead of the crappy knotwood. So when you get to rank 5, you're going to hit J and you're going to come into here, and this is where you're going to craft the disciplines that you're going to slot over here to make your character your flavor, right? I'm going to create an assassin. Well, great. Maybe my assassin's going to use Agent Provocateur, which when I'm in stealth, this other stuff happens, and I get some passives and I get some active really cool things like I can throw caltrips up there and make people slow, right? So as you craft these disciplines and slot them, please remind yourself to hit the K and bring those new powers and bring those new passives down. That's it. Just wanted to show you guys a kind of a quick tutorial. Like I said, I've got some wood here, I've got resources, eating and stuff like that. But when it comes down to, you hit J to craft, K to slot your powers, and hit M to find out where the hell you are. So hopefully this helped a little bit. I'm going to rush myself back to the Chaos because I'm only level 2. I'm heading back to the Chaos Temple because it's dangerous out here. Hopefully this helped. Hopefully someone will be able to spend some time and you'll find some new people to work with. Remember, you may level the 5 as a solo, you may level the 5 as a group. When you hit the campaign, this is a faction-based campaign. You need to find some people to go out. There's some solo work to do. You can gather wood, gather ore, whatever you want to do. But taking keeps, sieging keeps, attacking forts, all that type of stuff is going to take you a group of people. So spend the time and effort to introduce yourself to some people so you can find some fun things to do in 5.8. Thanks.